everyone, and welcome to Bassman Studio. I'm Charles Bassman, and in this episode I'm going to talk about my lithographs. I've been doing lithography for many years, and with the help of my friend and master printmaker Tomomi Ono, who's taught me everything I know about lithography, I've created several lithographs based on mythological themes. So I'm going to go through all of them and talk about composition and placement, and also how to create illusionary effects in your work, which not only applies to printmaking, but it applies to painting and drawing as well. So sit back and relax. Thanks for tuning in, and let's begin this new episode of Bassman Studio. Trying to hold my breath underwater. So now with this lithograph, which is obviously a mermaid, I combined several different reference pictures together. I had my model reference and I had reference of fish, various kinds of fish that I used for the details, such as the scales, which were just a lot of fun to do. So remember, you could combine all your reference and make something fantastic, something unreal. So don't be afraid to do that. Also, another device, as I did with the previous lithographs, is that I use the foreground, the coral here, to lead the eye in so you feel like you could walk in, or in this case swim, into the image. So it gives a sense of three-dimensionality to the image. So remember those devices that you could use them to lead the eye in, let's say, to your image and give a more like three-dimensional quality and a realistic quality to your images. So with this lithograph, I also did different variations and color additions as well. So what I did was what we call a monoprint, right? So it's just basically one color, mono meaning one color, one. So I did one edition of blue, several of greenish blue. So the wonderful thing about printmaking, or one of the great things about printmaking, is that you could experiment and play around with design and color without changing your original image. It allows room for doing a variety of different things to your image without changing the image. Now, this lithograph is Perseus and Andromeda. And as you can see, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of information going on. And what I wanted to do is, again, make the eye kind of go around the image. So I have no specific point of focal point. So it's a triangular composition. So you can see it goes from Andromeda to Perseus to the head of Medusa to the Kraken, which you can see below. And for the Kraken, just like what I did with the dragon, I combined several different reference pictures together, such as a squid, an octopus, and I made this creature, unconventional creature, in the water. And it's always a lot of fun to do, so don't be afraid to combine reference, to use your imagination. And just like the other lithograph, I also put a lot of perspective. My intention was to make the viewer feel like they could pretty much walk into the picture. So I added the rocks and the ocean to give a sense of three-dimensionality to the image. So unlike the mermaid, I haven't done many color editions of this lithograph, but I have added parts of gold leaf to Medusa at one point. So again, with prints, you could do this. You could manipulate images and you could change them in any way you can without, again, like I said, changing the original image. Now, with this lithograph, which I call the Rescue, you can see there's a lot of information in it and a lot of ways to lead the eye around the image, which was my intention. My intention was not just to have one focal point, but to lead the eye around. So you can see there's a castle in the background. There's a lot of perspective. And doing the dragon was a lot of fun too, because what I did was I combined different kinds of animals together, such as an iguana and a snake, to create this creature that's not your typical dragon, but I want it to be original, so I tried to make it a little bit different than a normal dragon, and it was a lot of fun to draw. And if you look closely to the lithograph, you could see smoke coming out of the nostrils and the mouth, which again was an element that I added later on to the lithograph. So you have to be okay when you're actually creating a work of art that it may change. You may get inspired by something, and you have to be okay with changing something. So I was okay with that, being that, you know, it was just a very fun, interesting thing to draw, to create. So you could see there's a real sense of one point perspective, meaning that the eye is only leading into one point in the distance. So it gives an illusion of space, which was my intention with this lithograph especially. So I rest my hand on the tree over here. Now this is the latest lithograph I've done. I call Spring. And you can see that spring is personified by the woman here on the left. And I had a lot of elements just like the other lithographs. I added animals and natural elements. And I combined different kinds of reference together to help me out. So again, don't be afraid of using reference to see what things look like. And not just to copy them, but just use them as a point of reference, because that's what it's called. So you're looking at it to kind of see, okay, this is how light hits a certain animal, light hits a certain tree, etc. So just like the mermaid with this lithograph, I did a lot of different additions, such as color additions. So with this one, I changed the color in several to indicate different times of day, such as morning, afternoon, and evening. So just by changing the color, I changed the mood of the image, without changing the original image, which again, like I said before, is a great thing in printmaking. So thanks for watching this episode of Bassman Studio. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so to see new videos which are coming soon. And for those who have subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. And again, if you want to see Tomomi Ono's work, I'll leave a link in the description below. And again, thanks for tuning in. Create some great work out there. Don't let fear stop you. And I'll see you next time on Bassman Studio.